Welcome. Today we're diving into a really fascinating cosmic map laid out in a specific biblical teaching. This idea of the three heavens.
So let me ask you a simple question. When you look up at the night sky, what do you actually see? You've probably asked yourself this a million times, right? I know I have. You're thinking the sun, the moon, the stars, right? Well, what if I told you that according to the teaching we're looking at today, all of that, it's just level 1.
Okay, so let's get right into it. First thing you need to know is we're talking about 3 heavens here, not the 7 that you might have heard about elsewhere.
You know, a lot of ancient traditions talk about 7 heavens, but this particular biblical teaching zeroes in on just 3. And it's not just a different number, right? It's a completely different framework that kind of reframes how we think about the universe and, well, our place in it.
So let's start with the one that's closest to home, the first heaven. And believe me, it's way more complex than you might think. It's described as a literal battleground.
So on one hand, you've got the sky we see every day, right? Birds flying, stars shining, all that good stuff. But this teaching says there's a whole other layer to it, an invisible spiritual dimension. And in that dimension, it's a constant fight. We're talking fallen angels, evil forces, all vying for influence right here on Earth.
And this brings up something really important from the source material. There's this super clear warning. Don't worship the sun, the moon, or the stars. The idea is that they're gifts for us to enjoy, not gods for us to worship.
So this naturally leads us to a huge concept in this whole framework, spiritual warfare. And what does that mean here? Well, it's this idea of a constant struggle against those, well, malevolent spiritual forces that are said to be operating out of this first heaven, trying to mess with things down here on Earth.
Okay, so you might be asking, how do you even fight a battle you can't see? Well, this teaching lays out a kind of spiritual authority for believers. It's basically a 3-step playbook. First, you've got to acknowledge that this invisible conflict is actually happening. Second, you can use prayer to bind or basically stop the negative forces. And third, you can loose or release the positive outcomes from heaven. It's this incredible idea that what you do on earth can actually echo out and have a real impact in that spiritual realm.
All right, let's head up to the next level and see how this all connects. We're now in the second heaven, which is described as the angelic realm.
Think of this place as like a cosmic highway. It's where the angels live, and their main job? They're messengers, flying between the third heaven and earth, carrying out divine commands. But here's a fascinating little detail. The source says even they don't know when the final day will be. It really shows you there's a clear chain of command.
And now, we've reached the top, the highest level, the absolute pinnacle of this cosmic map. We're talking about the third heaven, the throne room of God himself.
Okay, so this place is on a whole different level, literally. It's not just another layer, it's pure divinity. It's described as God's direct dwelling place, a realm of unapproachable light that no human can just waltz into. According to the source, this is also where Jesus returned after his resurrection, which really hammers home its ultimate holiness and authority.
And that quote right there, it just perfectly captures how exclusive this place is. The whole point is that it's beyond what humans can see or even wrap their minds around. It's a realm of pure divinity that commands ultimate reverence.
But wait, this cosmic map isn't static. The story doesn't end here. The teaching also looks ahead to what's going to happen to that first heaven we all know so well.
And this is where things get really dramatic. The teaching says that the first heaven, with all its beauty but also all its conflict, it isn't going to be around forever. The prophecy says it will one day be rolled up like a scroll and just pass away.
But that's not the end. Far from it. The source is very clear that after this destruction, a new first heaven is created, along with a new earth. And this new version, it's completely wiped clean of all that evil and conflict.
All right, let's do a quick flyby of everything we've just covered. It's a lot to take in. So you've got the first heaven, that's our world, inhabited by us, celestial bodies, and those unseen spiritual forces, making it a spiritual battleground. Then the second heaven, the angelic realm, the go-betweens. And finally, the third heaven, the ultimate destination, the very dwelling place of God serving as the source of all divine authority.
So what do we do with all this? It brings us to a final, pretty big question. It doesn't really matter if you see this as a literal map of the cosmos or as a powerful metaphor. The question is, how would looking at the sky and your life
as part of this three-tiered spiritual reality, how would that change your day-to-day perspective?